Hello, welcome to writing. I'm excited that I get to start doing writing with you guys for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get picking up right where Miss Maxie has left off. So we are going to be looking at day 6 in our writing, and we are on step 4, which is planning. So for today, we are over here in this planning, and it's important that we have our writing time to plan our writing. We've gone through, we've learned about our writing, we've unpacked our assignment, looked at it, and we've gone ahead and we've gathered our evidence on our different types of unusual houses. So today we're going to be looking at our planning just a little bit more. So what you're going to need is your Iready book and your pencil. So please make sure you have that out. And today we are going to be on page 80, 80. So if you need a minute to find it, you can pause it, but we're on page 80. So our I can statement today is our objective will be, I can organize reasons to support the topic of an opinion paragraph. And our goal for the end of the day is to be able to complete our web diagram. So we're going to see an example, and then we're going to create our own today. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to take a look at, this is the page that you should be on, page 80. So today you'll put your opinions and reasons for your opinions in a planning web. So the page that you see on page 80 is the planning web for Luke. Luke made his planning web, and he wrote about why he thought it would be harder to build an igloo than a log house where he lives. So you can see all of this. So Luke made a plan before he wrote. He thought about why building an igloo might be harder. So what he did is, where is Luke's opinion located in the planning web? Where did he put it? Right, it's in the middle, right here where you see the word opinion. He put his opinion, an igloo would be harder to build. So what is Luke's opinion? What's going to be harder to build it? So now we need to go ahead and find those 4 reasons, and he already found 3 of them of why it's harder to build. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look back at this passage about the igloos and building them in order to help us remember what he wrote and what he added and what we can add to help him out with his last reason from what we read. So I want you to be thinking as I read it again of what we can add to help him to support his opinion that an igloo is harder to build. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to page 71 so you can follow along as I read. So we also, remember, we underlined his reasons in yellow. So I want you to think about that and to help us. Too warm for an igloo by Luke Weber. Would it be harder to build a log house or igloos where I live? I think building igloos would be much harder. It would be harder because we don't get snow and ice here. I live in Florida. We might get a little bit of snow sometimes, but it's not enough snow to build igloos. Also, igloos would melt if we built them. It's very warm in Florida. It can be really hot. Igloos would melt very quickly. The weather where I live makes building an igloo impossible. So we're going to stop and think. And as I go back, I want you to look at your opinion and reasons. What are 2 reasons that Luke included in his brainstorming web? Because we underlined those 2 reasons. And I know we underlined, in this passage, we underlined, it would be harder because we don't get snow and ice here. And also igloos would melt if we built them. So let's go back and see if he added both of those as reasons. Oops, I went way too far, sorry. All right, there we go. So, not enough snow, don't have the tools, don't know how. I'm noticing he already added in here, which is awesome, that not enough snow. That was definitely in his writing. But I remember there's one more thing that he didn't add, and that was because it would melt. Building it there, it would melt. So we're going to go ahead and write in our box right here, it would melt. So please write that right here. So we filled in the space with the reason that Luke included in his paragraph. And so not enough snow, we check marked, but we also can go ahead and put a check mark by it would melt because he included that as well. So not enough snow and it would melt. Those are really good reasons. I definitely like that he added that he didn't have the tools and he doesn't know how because it's just not something he's done before. So I want you to use this to help you as we are going into our own brainstorming with our opinions and our reasonings. And it's important to look at. It looks like Luke didn't include some of the reasons in his paragraph. That shows that Luke really thought about his reasons and chose the best ones. Because I don't have the tools, okay, and I don't know how, okay, but you could learn how and you could get the tools. But not enough snow and it would melt are things you can't really change because it's the weather in the location that you're trying to build it in. So it's important for us to think about what's the best reason in things that we cannot change and have no ability to. Okay, we can't change the weather there. So we're going to go ahead and go turn and look at page number 81. Go ahead and look at page 81. So before you fill out your own planning web, let's think about what the assignment asked you to do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to look back on page 73. So let's go to page 73. On page 73, our assignment says, which home would be the most fun for a weekend visit? We read unusual homes and what's inside. So your job now is to write a paragraph for your friends. Share your opinion about which home would be the most fun. In the beginning, you need to tell the topic and your opinion. And then you need to give 2 reasons in the middle that tell why. And then you need to tell your opinion in different words at the end. So we need to go ahead and we need to think about, we went through and underlined which question we will answer, and we drew a box about what we're going to write. So we know we're going to be writing a beginning, middle, and an end, and your friends are who you are going to be writing this for. So we need to keep that in our brain as we go into our brainstorming so that we can write our opinion and our reasons that are going to support our opinion the most. So let's go ahead and go back to page 81 so we can start writing. And you've gone and wrote reasons and details. Some of them already. So it says to use the web below to plan your writing. Write the home you would like to visit in the center, and then write your reasons in the outer space. So I want you to think for a second. In the center space, we're going to write our opinions. Which unusual house would be the most fun for a weekend visit? I definitely think from reading these, I know what opinion I have. I would definitely want to visit a houseboat because I think it'd be a lot of fun and I really like being on the water. So that's my opinion. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write my opinion in this. And it's okay if you have the same opinion, but I really want you to think about, it's important as a good writer to write about something you're interested in because it's a lot easier to write that way than choosing something that someone else thinks. So I want your ideas and your thoughts. So in my middle, I'm going to go ahead and write. If you need a minute to think, you can go ahead and pause the video for a second. I'm going to go ahead and get mine started. a houseboat would be fun to visit. That's my opinion. It doesn't quite fit in the circle as I'm typing, so houseboat would be fun to visit, and that's my opinion. So now I need to think about what kind of things would go in that outside and their reasons. I should make sure I go back and look at my text too, to think about what are good reasons that would interest my friends and maybe convince them that maybe it is a good opinion that a houseboat will be fun to visit. So, I remember reading that it'd be really fun to sleep on the water. So I'm going to go ahead and put in here. One reason that it'd be fun to visit is because you sleep on the water. So go ahead and take your time to brainstorm and think about it. It's okay if you have a different opinion than me, remember, and think about the different things that interest you. Not what interests me or your friend, what interests you about it. You want to know what you think because it's your opinion. And I think it's really cool being on a houseboat. The boat moves. So on the water, you get to go from place to place. I think that would be really, really fun. What else would be fun about a houseboat? You know, I really like fishing. So I know we could just fish from the front porch, which would be really cool, just being able to fish. So another reason I'm going to write is fish from the porch, because I think that's pretty cool. Be able to just wake up, go outside and catch some fish and just have a little bit of fun like that. And then thinking about what a houseboat looks like, I think it's pretty cool that it's a house that looks like a boat. Because if you look at a normal house, it's not a boat. So I think it's really cool the way it's shaped. So house that looks like a boat is another one of my reasons, okay? So I wrote some good reasons. But now I need to think back. I'm going to give you some time. If you need to pause it to finish your reasons and have a little bit more think time, go ahead and pause it here. Because I'm going to start rereading mine to think, because I remember from our writing assignment, I need 2 details and I have 4. So that's awesome. I get to go ahead and pick what I think is the best ones to convince my friends that it'd be fun to visit a houseboat for a weekend. So, I think that my friends would think it's cool to sleep on the water. So I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark because I want to add that for sure. It's cool that a house looks like a boat, but I don't think that's really something that is going to interest my friends because it makes sense. It's a houseboat. So kind of says it in the name. Yeah, you'd go from place to place, but my friends like fishing too. So I'm going to tell my friends that you get to fish from the porch. So those are my 2 details to support my opinion or my reasons why my opinion a houseboat would be fun to visit. And I can go ahead and use those when I go on to writing later. Okay, so make sure you take your time and give your opinions on this. So now that I am done, I'm going to go ahead and go back, and I want you guys to make sure that you take the time and have your reasons so you're ready to start writing with me. So as you finish up, I would like for you guys to make sure that you are going ahead. Your write time today is going to be, make sure that you are uploading a picture of your completed chart on page 81 to Schoology so that we can make sure we see your opinions and your reasons so you are ready to write with us as this week goes on. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on for writing tomorrow.